What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Planet Zoo. If you guys are enjoying the series, once again, if you could do me a favor by leaving a like on the video, it would be greatly appreciated. In the last episode, we kind of got started. I say got started because I really did do a lot of off-camera stuff even still, but we really just got started on building buildings is what I think I actually titled that episode. In that, we sort of created this cohesive building combining three different types of buildings, and I gotta say, it really turned out looking super good. I then went through, and did a little bit more decorating, added in some lights and things. This place also looks incredible now at nighttime. Check this out, dude, with these lights. Oh, chef's kiss. Not to mention the main entryway, the front section. The meerkat archway here still does need some lighting things changed with it, but I mean, there's much more scenery here now, which just looks fantastic. We have an additional meerkat statue over here, just a bunch of like little meerkat-esque decoration type things as well, just to really solidify the fact that yes, this is the meerkat area of the zoo. I gotta say, man, not to toot my own horn or anything, but this did turn out pretty dang sweet. I then changed the entire path system that we had because the guests were kind of being a little rude to our meerkats. They were throwing trash in the exhibit. I mean, they were yelling at them, just standing here all in a group, just screaming at the meerkats. And I figured, maybe we put up some fencing. I thought at first, I don't want to give the guests the illusion that, they're being kept away from the animals, but very clearly they needed that because they were just being super rude. Since we added the railings, of course, the meerkats couldn't get across the path anymore, so I raised, or I guess lowered the terrain and raised the path, making a little underpass that the meerkats can scurry under to get to the other side. So needless to say, I'm very proud of this area as a whole. I think it's turning out great, but we now need to turn our attention to the opposite side of the zoo, because over here, it's a different story. It's a little lackluster. There's not a whole lot going on over here. We only have the one viewing platform for the Phoenix Fox, which someone did inform me I'm still pronouncing incorrectly. But it's too late now, there's no turning back. It's Phoenix Fox or nothing. So my idea for today, of course the title and the thumbnail probably already gave it away, but I would really like to continue incorporating all of the new additional animals that have been added with the Africa pack. The next one being the white rhinoceros. Big old behemoth. I think it's going to be a good fit here at the zoo. As far as the habitat goes for this new species, I'd really like to make an intermingling type habitat. There's a word for it. What's this actually called? Hang on. Let me look in Zoopedia. Interspecies habitat. I would love to have something where the African buffalo and the white rhinoceros can, pal around and have a good time in one large habitat. So with that in mind, I think the first thing we're going to do is a little bit of terrain editing. I'd like to continue this canal downward, kind of twisting and turning, but not too much. And then we'll have one large watering hole out here in the center somewhere. So this is going to be a very big exhibit. I'm hoping it doesn't take too long to actually, bring to fruition. But nonetheless, dude, let's get started with a little terrain editing. So first things first, we got to get rid of this water because it doesn't like editing water. For whatever reason, you can't change any of the terrain around the water. Once it's in for good. After a little bit of editing, this is what we're left with. We have a huge pool over here on the downstream of this thing, and then I actually made the canal a bit wider than it was in the other areas because this is going to be such a massive exhibit. I just feel like I don't want to limit them on how much water they have. The next thing we're going to do is go through and paint some sand in the very bottom of the canal so the long grass doesn't clip up through it and look gross. All right, now with the sand in place, I'm noticing a couple of spots in here that are just a little bit too vertical and don't really make sense for sand to be. So in those spots, like this area here, it's just a little too straight up and down. I'm gonna add in some rock, and maybe we'll do a small little rock structure up here just to kind of blend everything together a little bit better. And then all the rest of this, dude, I think we're ready to just fill her up with water and see how she looks. So let's go ahead and do that now. There we be. All right, dude, I love it. I love it. You can't really even tell that there's rock. Well, I guess you can on the very surface of it, but probably unnecessary to do all the additional painting that we do. Okay, next step, since we are going to be doing the, well, we're not going to be doing the rhinoceros, are we? We're going to be placing the rhinoceros in the zoo. I have to be very careful about the things that I say sometimes. People are going to think, he's one of them weirdos that's... I need to check in with these bad boys to see what sort of grade fence they need, because I feel like it's going to be a little bit better, or a little bit stronger, I should say, than the smaller animal exhibits we've done so far. So let's see, grade 4, yes. What barriers do we have that are grade 4? Oh, thick glass. I don't know how to pronounce that. Gabion? What does this look like? Oh, that's cool. Actually, I kind of like that. I don't really care for the brick much, but I like this. It's kind of rocks encased in a mesh of some sort, maybe like a metal mesh. Now we just have to figure out how we want to lay out the exhibit. I might even encompass all of these trees. I'm just not 100% sure yet. It's one of those things you just don't know until you get started. So there is going to be a slight gap in between these two fence lines, or we just change this. Let's see what it looks like if we change that. Oh, dude, that's nice. And then we don't have to put a whole nother barrier, you know, like 2 feet away from this one. So that'll work as our starting point. I'm just gonna kind of try to do a rough perimeter and we'll see what we end up with. Okay, this is absolutely the biggest exhibit we have ever tried to make now in Planet Zoo, and we've done quite a few different exhibits. I'm gonna edit just a little bit of this. There we go. Took out one hard corner there. I'd say that looks pretty good. Now, I doubt this wall is tall enough to contain the white rhinoceros, but we'll worry about that later on. The next thing I want to start thinking about is where we're going to put the keeper huts and where we're going to put the habitat gate. And obviously this isn't a habitat that we can actually have guests enter, so I have to figure out some other way that we can get a good view of this entire exhibit without putting the guests in any danger, because a rhinoceros will absolutely stab you to death with its ginormous horn. Hopefully that's not too graphic. Hopefully that's not that graphic of a visual, but it's the truth, man. They would easily destroy you. I really like the idea of having one massive viewing area just cut across this front fence here, but I do want to make it a little bit straighter. So I actually might delete this area of the barrier, and then we'll do a path first, just so we know everything's straight. And then for this area, I think I might actually leave this little square for either staff resting facilities, another bathroom, maybe even the keeper hut area. I'm really not sure yet. We could put another water filtration system over in this area somewhere, so I'm not super concerned with that right now. But that seems like a good spot to put something, so I'm going to try to leave it as vacant as I can. Okay, so this is 6.89 feet tall. That should be plenty. And I did have to add in some more wall again, just so I could raise everything properly, but now we can delete this once more. And I do keep forgetting that with these barriers, the nice thing that you can do with them is actually add glass in any area where you may need it. So we'll probably have to utilize that at some point, but I really like the aerial views. I just feel like it gives you a much better perspective of the entire habitat. This is what I'm working with for right now. I'm not super crazy about it because it is just kind of straight and boring looking, but I really like this ramp. I think the ramp looks good. I don't really care for stairs on something like this. For whatever reason, I feel like the ramp looks better. Maybe it's because the stairs kind of get rid of the decorative pattern we have. But now I'm just going to sort of follow the curvature of this observatory, we'll call it, and bring the wall, the barrier, all the way back to that other corner. There we go, dude. We got a whole barrier now underneath our observation deck, our viewing area. I think that looks really nice. I'm considering actually raising this wall a bit more. Well, to be honest, we can't really raise it much further, so I think that'll have to work. This is, how tall? 7.87 feet, and the original wall is 6.89. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but it would be really cool to have the habitat gate, like the keeper gate, around here, and then we could have a separate little building, kind of like something like this, or even something as intricate as this thing. We might be able to squeeze something like that in this little square section. Doesn't look like it's gonna let us put a door underneath that path, unfortunately, so there goes that idea. And honestly, we could use this area for just about anything. It doesn't need to be our keeper gate or anything like that. This area might actually work better for something like that anyways. So let's do our keeper gate right over here. We went with the metal one because, you know, rhinoceros, that's a big animal. Not to mention the African buffalo that we can also put in this same exhibit. They could probably smack down a wooden door in like 2 attempts. There we go. I brought the bottom path out quite a bit more, just sort of mirroring what we have up on the observation deck. And then we have an additional ramp too, if, you know, the first one gets too crowded or whatever, guests have an option to go down a different one or up a different one. And this area here actually would be an excellent spot for the smaller exhibits. You know, having like a smaller little exhibit viewing area down in here. Let's go into facilities. I'll just sort of briefly show you guys what I'm talking about. Like, we could grab something like this and install something along those lines down here. Of course, ours would be, you know, custom to fit this area, but just an idea. Now that we have the basics of the habitat figured out, I'd say, dude, it's time to buy some of these aminos. Got to get all these aminos. So we have 2 17.2-year-old males, and then we have 2, we'll say 20-year-old females. I'm gonna go with the 20-year-old female, and then let's go with this one for 319 cc's. This male, this big old boy here. I think you can only have, was it 1 to 4? Let's check their Zoopedia again. They don't like very many of themselves. Their group size is fairly small. 1 to 5, 1 male and up to 4 females. All right, so our 1 male is the only boy that we're gonna have in here. Let's get him at least another female. Here we go. This one's a bit closer to his age. Oh, fertility's bad on that one though. Let's go with this one. Longevity's pretty shot, but at least fertility's good. And we'll move her to Habitat 4 as well. Oh, dude, they've already arrived. Jesus. Freaking moving right along. Look at these boys. Well, boy and girl. Holy cow. Yeah, dude, imagine just, oh, it gives me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about, just imagine how sharp that horn would be if they're just booking at you at like Mach 12. Whew! Some very, very terrifying yet cuddly looking animals at the same time. I think it's the ears. The ears make them look like a hippopotamus. You know, they're all cute and big and whatever, but pff, these things will mess you up, dude. Do not cross a rhinoceros. That's rule number 1 of the Toogii Africa Pack Zoo. Never cross a rhinoceros. So, now that they've been dropped in here, let's see what they need. See what they're missing here as far as their terrain goes. Oh, they need some hard shelter, too. That's an easy fix. Let's go to Habitat, under Beds and Shelters, and then let's filter this by probably the theme. Just do African theme. Here we go. The 12 by 12 by 4 shelter. That's plenty of space, at least for the rhinoceros for now. I think something like that ought to do. Okay, let's click play. There we go. Hard shelter. Done, dude. Scratch that off the list. Next, they have way too much long grass. They don't have near enough soil. They need some more rock, a little bit of sand, I suppose, but we'll get them sorted here. I'd say not only is this our largest exhibit we've ever done, but it's also our best terrain blending that I think we've done, or terrain paint blending. Now that the terrain is sorted, let's figure out what else they need. Oh, dude, their coverage is already good. Their plants are at 100%. They're not asking for much more from us. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna move some of these trees around really quick, just because I don't really like the position of some of them. Dude, that's nuts. So their exhibit is basically done. I mean, that's all they care for. The enrichment is very, very poor, so we should probably move into, you know, getting them things like food and water and other things to, you know, survive. Oh, this is kind of cool. We have a water trough, a small little water trough. I'm gonna actually put that over here. There we go. Even though I realize this, you guys, they do have a bunch of very drinkable water here, just trying to make sure they don't dehydrate, you know? It's important to hydrate. And then we'll get a very, very large food trough. Put that fairly close to the keeper gate so he doesn't have to run too far. Moving on to enrichment items. What do we got for these boys and girls? A gyro enrichment. Holy heckin' heck, that's like the biggest top I've ever seen. The biggest little spinny top looking thing. I gotta see what it looks like when they use this. That thing looks wild. Okay, we'll place that over there. We have a hanging barrel feeder. We'll put that over here for him. Again, just so the keeper doesn't have to walk too far. We have just a large barrel feeder that's not strung up. An herb scent marker enrichment. I'm going to put that clear out in this corner, so maybe they venture a little bit further than they would otherwise. We have a large tire. That's a good decorative bit for out in front of their hard shelter there. Ooh, the mud bath. Yes. Okay, I'm glad we left plenty of space for this. Let's put that over here. And we have a plant screen. Oh, the plant screen. This is an item that can actually be used in order to lower an animal's stress. Say they don't really care for a lot of guests watching them all hours of the day, you can add in a couple of these plant screens and they'll actually hide behind them, which is pretty sweet. So I'll add a couple of these, not too many. Can't imagine the rhinoceros are going to be bothered by people, you know, hundreds of yards away from them, staring at them from afar. But I'll do one over here. Let's do either side of their hard shelter here. I think that'll work well for them. Got a rubbing pillar. Let's put that as close to the observation deck as we can. Right there looks good. A skittle. What the heck is a skittle, dude? That doesn't look like any skittle I'm familiar with, but okay. We'll give them some more things to play with out in front of the viewing area, so we'll put that over there. We have a snowman skittle. Same thing. We'll just kind of put that down willy-nilly. And then a sprinkler. All right, we're going to press play, see what happens to enrichment. 100%, baby. That's what we like to see. All right, next we have to upgrade their food because it's probably not very good. Yes, grade 1. We'll bump that up to grade 3. And it looks like we have our last rhinoceros coming in. There she be. So we got 2 females now and 1 male. What does this say? Many guests think tickets are underpriced. I just repriced them. Like right when I logged in, I just repriced them. I went up $1 on each. So let's do $9 for adults and I guess $7 for children. We'll see if that works. The sound effects in this game just really seals the deal for me, you know? If they had all these cool animals but horrible sound effects or just unrealistic sounding sound effects, it would make things a bit different, for sure. Oh, and we have guests already walking over here, dude. Okay, since the guests are making their way in, let's get the guest enrichment items, or like the signs and things, the do not disturb, do not feed signs, and then these are very important. I'm gonna try not to block their view of the animals, so I'll get these placed accordingly. We'll do one right here, and then we're gonna have to make sure it's on the right animal. Southern white rhinoceros. And since there are gonna be a couple of different species in here, maybe just 2 for right now, the African buffalo's probably next. And now that we have the sign, we'll grab a habitat speaker and put that directly underneath of it. Again, making sure that we change the animal that it's educating about. So this already seems like a space that guests are gonna sort of congregate. So I'm going to grab ourselves a donation bin, and we'll put that right there. Okay, then we need a do not disturb sign. I think I'm gonna put these at the very top of the entrance, sort of at a 45-degree angle, just so people know we're not messing around, okay? Don't be terrorizing our poor animals. And then we'll do the same thing with the do not feed sign, just at a slight 45 here at the top of the ramp. We'll let things play out, let the guests, you know, figure out where they wanna go. Look at this dude. Or is that a girl? That's a girl. Okay, I'm sorry, Minsedisi. I don't think I pronounced that properly. Let's start moving over some trash cans and some benches so people can take a load off. We'll put a trash can over next to the habitat education board there. And then right at the top of the ramp, I think is gonna be an important place to put them. So we'll do that there. I wanna look through construction, or actually maybe even in nature too. And I just wanna see what sort of decorational pieces they have specifically for the rhinoceros. Here we go, the North African sculpture collection. It is a rhino and it does look pretty sweet. I would say this is the perfect spot to house this behemoth. Since we're not gonna be putting a building here anymore, I'm gonna place that down right there. Dude, look at that. That is so cool looking. It's like a bunch of terracotta pieces, like loosely assembled on a wire frame. It's really cool, really cool. Oh, look at him. All 3 of them, dude, they're just chilling in their pack. And then let's actually get this donation bin and add another one just over here. Gotta maximize profits, baby. That's the name of the game. This corner might actually be a good spot to put a bunch of benches for people to rest at. So we'll do that and then do another trash can right there. Perfect, dude. What other blueprint things do we have available to us? We do have some of these lights, which I really like. So I might just put maybe 2 of those. We'll go through and decorate this a little bit better, probably off camera. Seems like the best time to do that type of stuff. It just takes away from a good bulk of the videos if I spend a lot of time decorating, so hopefully you guys understand. What else we got in here? North African sculpture collection. Ooh, another one. That's pretty cool looking. Could do something like that. Sure. For the time being, it'll get the job done. Oh, and then we have another rhino too. We can put another rhino just behind that one maybe, like right there. That looks pretty sweet. Okay, and then I think that's all the rhino specific stuff that they've added in, but there are a ton of other good things we can place down in here just to decorate the space up. So you guys, I think that is probably where we're going to wind things down at for today. Once again, if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.